Story about the magic of spinning and the magic of weaving. The spindle, the shuttle, and the needle. It was a long time ago, and there was a girl who was an orphan. And the old woman in the village took her in and looked after her and brought her up, pretty much as her own daughter, really, and taught her how to spin with a spindle, how to weave and how to sew. And then there came a time when the old lady herself passed away, leaving the girl on her own. But she had the little cottage, and she had the spindle, and she had the loom, and the shuttle, and the needle, and she could earn enough money for herself by spinning and weaving and sewing. And if she had a little left over, she would share it with other people. And there came a day when a prince rode through the village, and at this time the prince was looking for a wife. But he did not want the richest, and he did not want the poorest. And he went and asked the villagers who's the richest and who is the poorest person in the village. And they showed him the house of the richest woman, and they showed him the little tumble-down cottage at the end of the lane, where a poor young woman earned her living from spinning and weaving. So when he went to the rich woman's house, she met him at the door and curtsied deeply in her very best dress, and the prince smiled and rode on. And he came to the little tumble-down cottage at the bottom of the lane, where our lovely young lass was spinning with her spindle. And he looked in through the window, and she saw the white feathers in his hat, and she blushed as crimson as it's possible to. And the prince smiled and rode off. And then something strange happened to the spindle. For the spindle flew out of her hands and seemed to chase after the prince, leaving a golden thread, which I assume was flax rather than sheep's fleece, as the spindle carried on spinning. And so after some time, the prince noticed the spindle and noticed the golden thread, and thought it seemed to be leading him back to the village. But the poor young woman, because she had no spindle now with which to spin, took up her shuttle and began to weave. But the shuttle flew out of her hand, and the shuttle wove the most magnificent carpet with red roses and white lilies. And soon she had the most splendid carpet you have ever seen in your life on the floor of her tiny cottage. So she began to sew, and yet the needle flew out of her hand. And in front of her eyes, the most lovely furnishings, the most wonderful curtains, the most lovely sumptuous cushions appeared. So by the time the prince returned, because of course he did, you know he did, of course the prince followed the golden thread all the way back to the little tumble-down cottage. And he looked around and said, "You are both poor and rich." So he lifted her up, placed her on his horse, and of course they were married. But the spindle and the shuttle and the needle were placed in a glass cabinet and kept very carefully for a very long time. Spinning. There's lots of stories about spinning. Spindle. So when we're talking about a spindle, I think we are talking about a drop spindle, which is very simple, like this, and not that easy to use. But you simply turn, usually clockwise, and simply. She seems to be spinning flax rather than fleece. I work with sheep's fleece mostly. You just tease out your fleece and let the spindle put the twist in. And of course, after some time, we get to the spinning wheel. So let me see. I'll just turn around here. Bear with me, everybody. Can we see here? Do you see my wheel here? This is quite, and here we go. This is my fleece. This is my fleece that I'm spinning into yarn at the moment. This is quite unusual. This is an Ashford Traveller. You can see here basically the spindle. It's the same thing. It's just that it's now driven by a drive belt that goes onto the wheel. But the thing with a spinning wheel is, of course, you have to sit down in order to be able to spin. Whereas with a drop spindle, you can wander around. You can spin as you're walking if you're good enough. And there's a story that circulates around spinners' guilds and reenactors about sometimes it's South America, sometimes it's Nepal or Tibet, but there's always a group of poor women who are there's a Western development agency go in and say, well, we can give you spinning wheels, then you'll be so much more productive and you'll be able to make more things and make more stuff and work more quickly, because that's what we do, isn't it? And the women sort of look at the people who are trying to help them and they smile and they say, yes, it's very kind of you, but we like our drop spindles. It's good enough for our grandmothers, their grandmothers, their great grandmothers, but it's good enough for us because we'd rather be able to walk around and have a nice chat. So you can spin a yarn while you're spinning a yarn. I even if that story is not true, I really do like it. But yes, spinning and weaving. Stories are spun, spells are woven, and of course, the old woman in the story must have been a witch to have owned a magical spindle and a magical shuttle and a magical needle, I think. I think she must have still been, well, her memory must have still been around in the old tumble-down cottage to have made all that magic happen. There we are, spinning. It really is a magical thing. My own wheel, by the way, is ambidextrous. If if you're left-handed and left-footed, I'm not aware of any left-footed spinning wheels, but what I am aware of are spinning wheels with the treadle in the middle, so you can treadle with either foot. There we are. Don't let being left-handed put you off learning to spin, because it's a lovely thing to do. Lovely. So, more spinning stories coming up. And of course there are lots of stories about handsome princes. So if you're a single lady, I hope you meet your handsome prince soon. And can you just help me out here with the end of the story? Because we do need to make it clear that the prince and the spinning lady lived, come on, your line, happily ever after. So please do subscribe to my channel, and I do hope to see you again soon. And if ever you go anywhere where there are people spinning, do go and talk to them. Yeah, hope to see you soon. Take care.